Bonjour à tous, welcome to my channel. This is Sandra from Central Rose. Here we talk about fashion, lifestyle, and most of all, luxury and luxury bags. So if you like any of these topics, please comment below and follow me. So today we are going to talk about my Chanel bags. I always dreamt about having Chanel bags. It was probably the first brand I was interested in when I was younger. Obviously, I didn't have the funds to afford it. Like, it's pretty crazy, and now the prices are even going crazier. Chanel is for me like the symbol of France, symbol of French style, and being French, I really wanted to have one. Basically, I always thought I would get the classic flap first, the most famous and iconic bag. My favorite one was a 255, the one without the double C's. I really wanted the original design by Coco Chanel, Gabrielle Chanel. Unfortunately, it's not done yet. It hasn't happened, but I still have 3 bags, which I will go into today. They are all vintage bags, and I purchased them on eBay from Japanese resellers, and they are all under $1,000. I will try to remember the prices along the way, but I don't remember exactly. So a few years ago, when I started working in the US, in New York, had my first job, I had, you know, a good salary. It wasn't crazy or anything, but I had a good salary. Good enough that I started considering the purchase of a Chanel bag. So I went onto eBay and I started looking into what was available. Obviously, I mean, at the time, classic flaps, you could get them for maybe $2,000, $3,000, but it was more than I could afford at the time. So I decided to basically filter the search and look for bags under $1,000, thinking that I would not find anything. And to my surprise, I did find some bags. Most of them were not really the style I was looking for. I still wanted, you know, a flap of some kind, something very Chanel. And I kept looking and looking, and eventually I found auction basically that was running. I don't remember how long was left, but not that much. And so I decided to set a reminder and try to bid on the bag. And I won the bag. I won the bag for less than $600 at the time. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was $560 from a Japanese reseller. I was very scared of spending that much money. It was the first time I would spend that much money on a handbag, and I looked and looked online for ways to authenticate the bag and trying to find which era it was from, because I had never seen that turn lock, because yes, it has a turn lock. So the first bag I'm gonna show you now is this one. So it is jersey all over, jersey not all over, jersey on the main parts. Here you have leather all around. Okay, you have the classic chain, not the one with the leather, but the older one, the Mademoiselle chain, I think it's called. And here you have the turn lock. So I don't know if you can see, but the turn lock, instead of being rounded in the front, it is a little squarish, and that made me very scared, because I didn't know if it was true. I didn't know if it was a real bag. And so I looked online for a while and found people that really know their Chanel, and basically they explained to me that when Karl Lagerfeld arrived at the Maison, he wanted to introduce that double C logo that, you know, didn't exist on previous bags. And the first versions of them were not rounded. Like the train lock wasn't rounded, it was like that, like squarish. So that means that this bag is probably early 80s. If you have any information, I'll take it, honestly. So when you open the bag, it's all jersey too. You have the secret pocket functioning perfect. You have jersey here in the beautiful burgundy. You have Chanel here and the classic, you know, classic inside. Oops. Classic inside. And you do have the, is there a, I don't remember if there's a number here, but I had it authenticated and it is authentic. And you have here the pocket too. And you also have the back pocket, which I love. I don't put much in there, probably just receipts or something like that. And yeah, so that was my first Chanel. It was a dream. It was a dream come true. It's beautiful. Since it's jersey, it's a little fragile and it's older. It's the oldest bag I have. I tend to not wear it that often, which is maybe a waste, I don't know, but it's part of part of the history of the house, I feel, because it's so old and I want to keep it in the best condition I can. So that was my first Chanel. Bought a few years ago, probably. Well, actually it was 6 years ago. It is. So then time passed and you know, I bought other bags, I bought Vuitton bags, and my quest for Chanel was still always burning, you know, I always wanted a new one. And eventually I you know, I kept doing my searches, less than $1,000, flap, you know, just the keywords on eBay. And I did find another one, which was a buy it now option, you know. And I think this one was right around 1,000, maybe 1,100, maybe, yeah, around there. And it is a navy as well, but this time it's in leather, so that was like absolutely amazing to me. And it also has the classic chain intertwined leather. Ta-da! With contrasting, not stitching, but the trim is in white. The bag itself is navy. And I love navy. I think it goes with everything. I pair it with black too. I don't care. I know people care, but I don't. Have the classic chain. Beautiful back pocket. So of course the quilting is pretty flat because it's pretty old, but I personally love the look of vintage. You also have, you know, the little stamp because it was gold plated at the time. So the turn lock is beautiful. Yeah, you open it, all navy inside with the stamping of Chanel here. Double pocket. Yep. And business cards. Here it is. It is the smoothest bag I have. I love it so much. I'm always scared of using it, but I use it more than the previous one. All these bags, mostly I wear crossbody. Yeah, it's a very short crossbody, but I love it. I think it's perfect. So last Chanel bag under $1,000 was bought actually right before pandemic started. Actually maybe the pandemic, I think actually the pandemic had just started and I was spending way too much time online, like probably everyone, and I looked for a Chanel bag, as one does, and I found one in a leather that I didn't have, in color that I didn't have, and very different, but also like that you can wear all the time. I found it for probably $800 on $800. Same, I was very scared of it being fake, etc. But I looked everywhere on the internet, tried to do my best to authenticate it myself, and then had it authenticated by independent company, and it turns out it's a real bag. It also, all these bags come from like reputable resellers from Japan, so that gave me a little bit of peace, honestly. So this is the bag. You can see the chain, beautiful chain, and the bag. Patent leather, bigger than the others. I actually love that bag because, so I do illustration work, and I work a lot on my iPad, and it fits in there. My iPad Pro 11 fits in here, and yeah, it's beautiful. The gold is so yellow and vintagey. I love it. The turn lock is very detailed. There's a kind of like a quilting pattern on the turn lock. It's beautiful. So this one, this front flap opens to a small pocket that I don't really use it actually. This one, because it's a little tight because of the patent leather, but you could use it, of course. I use mainly the main compartment, which is like that. There is one flat pocket here with a zipper, and then a larger one here. So this is probably my most worn Chanel bag. I'm way less careful with it because it's patent, so you know, whether it rains or snows or whatever it is in New York, that works. It is bigger, so I tend to not use it too much at night to go out. When I go out, usually I wear another bag though. It's a YSL de Lulu, which is great too. So yeah, this bag is beautiful. Look at this. This is so cool. There's a little CC here. It is beautiful. I love this bag, and I can't believe that I bought it for like $800. It's in great condition too. So yeah, it's possible. So it is possible to buy Chanel at a lower price. So now, you know, with COVID and everything went crazy on the market and everything, all prices went up. So it's a little harder now to find something, but I have my eye on a few bags that are around $1,000, maybe a little more, but not much more, like maybe $1,200. You know, you can still find great vintage bags and have a great, you know, styling of it, and I just love them. I just love them so much. Like, they're my favorite bags by far, although I don't wear them that often compared to other bags. They're just beautiful. So this is it. This is my Chanel bag collection. Very small collection, but beautiful. I love all of them. I hope you do too. Please let me know if you have any comments, or if you know a little more about the history of these bags. I would love to know. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Until next time.